And it's interesting that, you mentioned it taking place in Arizona. I would love, if possible, for you to talk a little bit about Championship Wrestling's transition. We'll get more into you joining the company and everything like that later, but I know for a long time, you had Championship Wrestling from Arizona, you had Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, and there was like kind of a consolidation with the United Wrestling Network. Could you talk about how that all works, please?
Sure. I mean, David Marquez, who's the owner and president of United Wrestling Network, uh, originally kind of entered the business under Harley Race out in Missouri with World League and World Legion Wrestling. And so he kind of came up with that old school mentality. Obviously, Harley was a huge part of the original National Wrestling Alliance, was the NWA World Champion and the territory days. And David Marquez always kind of saw an advantage in either preserving or bringing back that old system, because I think he always just appreciated having unique talent to a region and regional champions, but giving them the experience of going on the road, traveling. Dave is always about getting talent TV ready. But a big part of being TV ready and working for a major promotion, if you work for an AEW or a WWE, is travel and how you conduct yourself on the road and being able to deal with that type of schedule. And so I know Dave always really liked that thought of, let's take our talent, let's get them TV ready, and then let's have regional promotions all under the same roof of the United Wrestling Network. Dave obviously had a lot of history with the NWA. They had a falling out. It's been on again, off again, and that was really the birth of the United Wrestling Network as kind of its own governing body and its own territorial system. So yeah, we had Championship Wrestling from Arizona out there in Mesa. We had Peter Avalon was a big part of that program. He's pretty Peter Avalon there. He was producer Peter Avalon, and he was involved legitimately behind the scenes producing and writing, but also on air as a character and as a wrestler. And it was a great product. And then we had for a while Championship Wrestling from Atlanta, because our shows, and then we have Memphis, which Dustin and Maria Starr are still running that independently, but utilizing our talent and working with us. But that is still kind of its own entity. But the idea eventually became, hey, let's consolidate everything and make it one national show. And I believe it's still on over 200 networks across the U.S. And so it's great for us and for me as a broadcaster, because we had so much great talent. Guys like a Lord Crew in Atlanta that now is on our show and has been coming out. A lot of Arizona talent that has been big on our show. The Hammerstones of the world, but also EJ Sparks, who was a fixture in Championship Wrestling from Arizona before he became a big part of the National Championship Wrestling program. So the idea was, let's put it all under one roof. And eventually, since the TV's in so many markets anyway, then we'll start branching out and go back to those markets. And it's going to kick off here with Arizona coming up in a few weeks.